Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरू श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथामृतं तं सजीव साधवैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेव श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णकृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे यदविशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौरक्षसे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नीलाचलनिवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्रसुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दीनतारिणम् Takes 41 today. Sakheti matva prashadam yaduktam. He Krishna, He Yadava, He Sakheti. Maya pramadat pranayena hasartham asatkritosi. Vihara savyasana bhojaneshu. Ekhothavapi achyuta tad samaksham. Tatshamaye tvam aham aprameyam. Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you, O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, not knowing your glories. Please forgive me. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times. Jesting as we relaxed, lay on the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of my friends. O infallible one, please excuse me. Although Krishna is manifested before Arjuna in his universal form, relationship with Krishna, and is therefore asking pardon and requesting Krishna to excuse him for the many informal gestures which arise out of friendship. He is admitting that formerly he did not know that Krishna could assume such a universal form, although Krishna explained it as his intimate friend. Arjuna did not know how many times he may have dishonored Krishna by addressing him, O my friend, O Krishna, O Yadava, etc., without acknowledging his opulence. But Krishna is so kind and merciful that in spite of such opulence, he played with Arjuna as a friend. Such is the transcendental loving reciprocation between the devotee and the Lord. The relationship between the living entity and Krishna is fixed eternally. It cannot be forgotten, as we can see from the behavior of Arjuna. Although Arjuna has seen the opulence in the universal form, he cannot forget his friendly relationship with Krishna. The whole world is running after the opulence of the Supreme Lord. And Arjuna is interfacing the supreme opulence of the Lord. But he is remembering his friendly relationship with Krishna. What good is opulence of the Lord is having a lot of powers because she is Krishna's personal energy. And therefore Maya Shakti has amazing powers. But Maya Shakti, and that's why in material energy or in material world we can see tremendous opulence. There may not be opulence in our pockets and our quarters, but there is tremendous opulence per se, is it not? Our Mother Earth is not getting. The Mother Earth has. You see, Mother Earth has tons and hundreds of tons of gold available, is it not? Rare, rare jewels available. There is no depletion, although there is massive exploitation, but still the reserves are huge. So per se, there is a lot of opulence in this world. Per se, is it not? But Maya Shakti injects the illusion in the living entity who interfaces her opulence that this opulence uh, can be lorded over by the living entity. It's like this is all for you. Maya's opulence, ultimately opulence is opulence of Krishna, but the opulence mixed with that illusory injection that we are calling as Maya's opulence intoxicates the living entity. Now we have heard this. Maya's opulence intoxicates the living entity. So the living entity goes into a state of slumber. That's the point. So the living entity goes into a state of slumber. And that's what happens with Maya's opulence. If you see much of the drive of materialism, nothing else, is it not? Because of this display of opulence. So and this drive is powerful. This drive makes people go mad. This drive of opulence is powerful. Makes people go mad actually. That's the whole point. So that's why people are attracted to glamour, is it not? That's why people are attracted to glamour. Like no, it has that appeal. It has that irresistible appeal, is it not? Like you see, people make high class sleek showrooms. You see, now everything is dazzling from inside. So it is pulling the people inside, is it not? Right? If it is a simple shop, a simple building like this, then that punch is not there, is it not? But if it is a glass building, every item is on display, the most, and a person will say, okay, it's a shoe shop, but then the caliber shoes one is seeing, on the display, seeing 40,000 worth of shoes, one pair, yeah, that's the spirit. The person feels that, let me also once taste it. Let me work towards it, is it not? Maybe I can, is it not? So the person gets blinded. It is this rather game going on, the game of glamour going on, is it not? No. At least previously, people, the marketplaces used to be in some crunched up lanes, You had to prepare your mind, when do you really want to go there, So much people, so much crowd, so much like that. Now it's so sleek, it's all glass buildings, it's 5-6 storied buildings, it's a supermarket, and it's filled with appealing, irresistible, demonstrations. So the result is what? The result is whatever is earning, saving is zero. Universal phenomena. Like that. So the point is, in this way, the living entity gets intoxicated. Now, if you see any Western city, actually, any Western city, what do they? So you will see a river. The photograph is taken from a bridge. You will see a river, and you will see, this is Melbourne, like that. So 14 months I had passed through that bridge, like that, So, I mean, what good is that? What good is that building? And what good is that building and hub of? I have seen people sometimes when so that's how it is Melbourne. Now you Google Sydney. What is Sydney? If you Google Sydney, anywhere anybody talks about Sydney, they will only have one photograph to show. They will only show that opera hall, and they will only show that bridge. That opera hall and that bridge. That's all. That's all what they are going to show. To show, and then it's like, so the idea is, so therefore you see the dazzling opulence. So many times in working, people are very much attracted to, okay, workplace. What is the building? So the building is looking 20-story. That means a big building. Like that. Like I remember, I was facing a great challenge in taking a job in Pune, because there were no companies in Pune those days, software companies. The salary was very meager, so it was in comparison to a computer science, it was like an illiterate, daily wager salary, yeah, for a CS person to work in Pune was like that, it was like going on daily wages, something like that. So, but anyhow, I was facing a big challenge, like that. So I was trying to pull this down, pull this up, somehow something to fit, So pull other job offers, that how they don't give the money what they quote and all that. So I was trying to do all analysis and explain to parents. But here actually, it's not like that. There also it was like that only, but something had to be done. So now the point is that, so uh, uh, so now the point is that, then I did the same thing. Actually, the next step I did was that, okay, so then we figured out that, okay, HSBC something is working out, not like that, and and then and then I had gone for interview. So so then they were asking, okay, so HSBC, okay, so how is it? So I was saying, it has it has yeah, it has three offices, and and then there was I said, oh, it has three offices and like that. And then I said, okay, the office where I would be working, it's a 9-story building. Oh, it's a 9-story. Oh, it's a 9-story building, like that. And okay, okay, continue, like that. So that was the point. So uh, uh, I remember father had come to visit, so he wanted to visit the company. That was a Tirtha for him, sort of, it was like his cherished. I had taken him on a Saturday, like that. And he was very happy seeing 9-story building, all glass, blue, like that, and all glass, blue, and outside gardens and fountains, and it goes up like this, you can walk up, like that, So it's like, and you can work in great style, software engineer, like that. So uh, and so I mean, it was as cheap as that, So it was as cheap as that, So, and I remember my office was there in the 5th floor or something. I think yeah, 5th floor or something. So, but the reality of the situation was, anyhow, he was very happy and he went off, like that. So, later he had come to Infosys, Bangalore office also, not Bangalore, this Pune office later, So, anyhow, so he went back. He was satisfied. But the bare the bare fact was that this kind of infatuation only remains till the time you enter the company. Why? Because when I entered the company, they were short of places, to allot to people, So yeah. So for a month or so, initially for a month or so, I was not getting any place allotment, I mean, they didn't had a place to give me, like that, and therefore they had actually put, that table, that kind of table. They had literally put that kind of table, I mean, it had a ply on top of it, but essentially it was like that. That kind of table on in the walking space, like that, long, like that, and they had put fellows, one after the other, sit here, That was my first month in HSBC. So this opulence is blind. It basically blinds the person. It's intoxicating, like that. So, and then the project I was working, it was a cubicle where only 3 people were supposed to sit, but they had put 8 people, and it was so jam packed that, if you had to take your chair out, you had to ask this person or this person, please move, so that I can go out. So it was like that. It was so pathetic, So anyhow, the point which I'm trying to make is that, how this intoxication, big buildings, big structures, I mean, the opulence is basically blinding, is it not? Therefore, people, now if you ask them, okay, people want to go here and there. What do they want to do when they want to go here and there? They just simply want to take a photograph with them in front and put it on their Facebook and Instagram, I have captured Melbourne, or I have captured Sydney, like that, Similarly, New York or whatever, So this is the point. That's all, is it not? That whole drive that I can somehow or the other capture it, is it not? It's just like, It's like that is the drive. So that is the point. Now the Lord's opulence works in a reverse gear or in the reverse way. Maya's opulence puts the living entity to intoxication, a state of slumber, and Krishna's opulence awakens the living entity. That is the role of Krishna's opulence. Krishna's opulence awakens the living entity. Then one starts coming to his senses. Oh, this is also important, This is also something substantial. That's the point to understand. Therefore, Krishna's opulence has that role, has that place value. That when one interfaces Krishna's opulence directly, then it awakens the living entity. Now he is in a state of slumber. And Krishna's opulence is covered with purification or is coupled with purification. Krishna's opulence is coupled with purification actually. Therefore, the living entity feels that, so he comes out of his slumber. It's a medicine, it's a tonic. That tonic awakens the person. He starts taking Krishna consciousness seriously, is it not? That's the whole point. So one starts accepting the seriousness and the importance and the substantiality of the process of Krishna consciousness, is it not? So, just like you see how much impact people have about Mayapur. Calcutta temple, nobody knows. Nobody in Calcutta knows Calcutta ISKCON. Hardly you will find somebody who knows Calcutta ISKCON. The moment they will see your Hare Krishna, they will say, Mayapur! Then they can say, नहीं इधर भी है, अच्छा इधर भी है, अच्छा किधर है, है इधर है, एड्रेस, लेकिन मायापुर जाते हैं ना आप? हाँ जाते हैं, जब भी कभी भी जाते हैं, हाँ तब बराबर है. Is it not? That's how the mentality of people here is it not? So you see, that's a point. So what registers in their mind, is it not? ISKCON very nice because Mayapur very nice, like that. So when you have when you have 6 feet, 7 feet deities actually, then that opulence registers in the person's head. If you have 1 feet deities actually, then it will require more sattva for it to register. I mean, more pious credits for it to register, like that. So, but when there is 9 feet deities, then it registers, is it not? If a person is hearing a class and only some 3 people are sitting, and they are wondering that is it meant for me, so it requires a lot of piety for it to register inside. But if one is sitting along with 20,000 more people, it registers inside. That's the point. Therefore, Rath Yatra registers inside, is it not? Calcutta Rath Yatra registers inside people's hearts, is it not? They will remember Rath Yatra, but they will not know where is ISKCON temple. So this is the role of opulence, if you see, is it not? This is the role of opulence. That So opulence has its role. Now, and we see in the behavior of Arjuna, so Arjuna is explaining two things by his behavior here. Now Arjuna, so one aspect is, so now Arjuna is explaining the point that previously also Krishna was available for him, is it not? And he's very intimate to Krishna, no doubt about it. But now, but then what is the difference or transformation between then and now, which Arjuna is explaining? The difference is that previously Krishna was available, he was reciprocating, Arjuna satisfied everything. But there was an element of being a bit casual, which Arjuna is pointing out, is it not? It's okay, Krishna is available anytime, is it not? Krishna is available anytime, is it not? So there was that element. And now Arjuna is saying that having seen that universal form, now is very serious. Oh, Krishna is available means it's much greater fortune, it's much greater mercy, is it not? That's the point, right? So this is the transformation which has come. Therefore, Arjuna is highlighting the aspect here that that now is become more serious or more awakened in that relationship. An intimate relationship is there now also, but then it's much more serious. Now Arjuna is able to acknowledge Krishna's presence much more deeply because he has interfaced the opulence of Krishna. That is the place value of opulence. That is the place value of opulence. So yes, that point is there. The opulence has a role. The opulence has a role because it creates awakening. Therefore, uh, uh, massive, massive festivals, massive programs are helpful for people to create an awakening. Helpful for people to create an awakening, so that they can take the message. They become more open. The place value or the seriousness, the substantiality of the message and the process gets deeply ingrained in people's hearts. That's the point. But the story does not end here. Srila Prabhupada is giving further understanding in the puppets. And Srila Prabhupada is highlighting the fact that Srila Prabhupada is highlighting the fact that Arjuna is seeing the opulence of the Lord. Arjuna is seeing the opulence of the Lord, but he is remembering the friendly relationship. He is interfacing the opulence of the Lord, but he is remembering friendly relationship. So yes, for one who is, because Arjuna is a devotee, for one who is intoxicated and poisoned by the material illusion, the opulence will create an awakening. But after awakening, what starts is the process of devotional service, is it not? Like that. Arjuna is a devotee, and therefore he is remembering the personal relationship of the Lord. He is remembering the friendly relationship with the Lord. He's seeing the opulence, he's remembering his friendly relationship. He's seeing the opulence, he's remembering his friendly relationship. So this is an important aspect which has been highlighted by Srila Prabhupada here. This is a very important aspect. Uh, the point here is that the greatness of the Lord can create an awakening, but it is the sweetness of the Lord which creates the riveting. It's the sweetness of the Lord which creates the riveting. Relationships. Relationships. So that aspect uh, is of very vital importance for us. Very vital importance for us. Because you will see that now, so this aspect is very vital for us actually. In terms of our preaching endeavors, now how the preaching or how the Sankirtan, the glorification of the Lord should evolve. When we have to design and strategize, we have to understand this principle very prominently. So, so many a time what happens is that in an attempt to create an extremely gorgeous setup, an extremely gorgeous temple, in an attempt to do that, uh, uh, in an attempt to do that, uh, devotees, we have seen that devotees now burn themselves out so much so, or get stretch themselves out so much so that uh, that that what is forgotten is then there is and there is what is forgotten is many aspects of personal relationships get forgotten in their own aspects, in their own Krishna consciousness. That's one thing. Because then there is so much of an energy dispense in getting the opulent setup ready that the person forgets to feed in to feed in one's relationship with Krishna. In that sense, it becomes a dry burnout, dry stretch burnout. Okay, to get a magnificent temple, magnificent temple, and like that, it becomes a dry stretch burnout actually. And in that sense, the person himself disconnects from the aspect of sweetness. With that, what will happen is so essentially that is where it goes. So with that, what is going to happen is that the friction and the dissensions and the fights are going to increase among the devotees, and the spiritual strength has got a bit depleted, like that. Secondly, what will happen is that in that temple actually, then the magnificent setup is there, but then sometimes the situation is that okay, devotees in the temple, they finish somehow or the other the morning program, everybody is thinking of finishing, hey, just finish, quick, like that, and then everybody, they take a suitcase, everybody runs, for fundraising, donor collection, like that, and the whole day nobody is there in the temple, like that. So it's like one devotee had come to Calcutta. He was saying that okay, uh, he was saying actually there is no football without a goalkeeper. You know, and if everybody wants to be a shooter, he's on the other side, shooting a goal, okay, let me hit, but if by mistake the ball goes this side, then there is nobody there. There is no back-end player and there is no goalkeeper. So it's like that's the point actually. So this is important for us actually. This is important for us. And secondly, actually, uh, people will get awakened by the opulence, you know, but they will commit to the process of Krishna consciousness if they see that devotees are available to invest in their lives. You know, if they are, if they see that, devotees are available to personally invest in their lives. This is an important point we have to understand. That just an elegant setup, it has a place value, but it is not. But that's not yet complete. The point is that uh, we should be available to people, to invest in their lives, to offer them encouragement, support, everything. So on the power of that relationships, the riveting of Krishna consciousness can take place like that. So this is amazing. So now, okay, should we then what should we do? Like that. Then which one to take up first? Should we erect a massive building glorifying Krishna, or should we make ourselves fully available to reach out to people? So that becomes an interesting question actually. So that becomes an interesting question. So, and this question is answered in terms of we need to create a symbiotic relationship. You know, uh, uh, we need to create a symbiotic relationship. We make a good setup, and then we spend our energy in helping people become devotees. When they become devotees, they would also like to invest in that setup. So your setup becomes, the Krishna's palace becomes more like grows, the magnificence grows, like that. And we not just inspire people to invest, but we inspire people to reach also, to help also, to reach out also. Is it not? And the setup become more magnificent, more people come in. When more people come in, we should be there to receive them. Is it not? Should be there to receive them. Then they become devotees. And they become devotees, then they will also invest. Then the setup will be more magnificent. More people come in. When more people come in, more internal devotees should be there to take care of more people. Like that. No? Then they become devotees, they invest in the setup. It will become more magnificent. That's how Krishna's glories will grow actually. So there needs to be the symbiotic relationship. There needs to be the symbiotic relationship. That's a point actually. So uh, that is the point which we have to understand. That's the point which we have to understand. That therefore Arjuna is remembering his friendly relationship, and we will see going ahead. Now Arjuna is going to request the Lord, please come back to your same form. So that's going to come now, and so and then. Uh, that's going to come now. So there needs to be this symbiotic relationship. That's how it develops. Therefore, we will see in Krishna consciousness, it is most important to be holistic. You know, it is most important to be holistic. If we become extremist on the efficacy of the process or Krishna consciousness does not go far. I mean, it just doesn't install deep in our hearts itself. So, but if you are holistic, now then it has a punch. It has a powerful effect. Is it not? It has a punch. It has a very powerful effect. So, yeah, it has a very powerful effect. So, this is the point. And as the temple, as the community grows, it has more and more responsibility on the part of the devotees, to be more and more available and maintain that aspect of sweetness, because only greatness will be dry. So that aspect of sweetness, the culture of Krishna consciousness has to be maintained. No? So otherwise people just take a photograph and go. So the photograph may remain on the Facebook, but in the heart many other things will come in later. Is it not? So that's the point which you have to remember. So we'll stop here. Continue again in our next class. Granth Raj Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.